Fear of rejection. When you feel like everything has ended, that's when it's just beginning. Albert Havard. We've all been there, heart racing, eyes downcast, face flushed. Maria remembered that summer afternoon when, with her heart in her hand, she confessed her feelings to Juan, but the response wasn't what she expected. "I don't feel the same way," he said. Maria's world crumbled. But why? Because a simple word can hold such power over us: rejection. That feeling of not being wanted or valued by someone we care about pierces us like a lance, tears us apart, makes us feel vulnerable, and sometimes plunges us into deep introspection. The human being, by nature, seeks acceptance and connection with others. We are social beings, and from ancient times, being rejected could mean the difference between life and death. In our modern era, this still holds true. Stoic philosophy presents a different perspective. Imagine living in a reality where rejection doesn't define you, where your worth isn't dependent on external validation. A perspective where rejection is seen not as a failure, but as a blessing. It may sound strange, but to understand it, we must delve into the world of Stoicism and discover how this ancient philosophy can transform our relationship with rejection. Following this line of thought, in the next few minutes, we will embark on a journey through time and the mind, uncovering the wisdom of the Stoics and how to apply it in our daily lives. I invite you to keep listening and discover why rejection, far from being a curse, can be a true blessing for you. Historical context: Stoicism and its key figures. To understand how Stoicism can change our perception of rejection, we must first immerse ourselves in its roots and grasp its fundamentals. Imagine ancient Greece, a world of gods, heroes, and philosophers, where a philosophy that would forever revolutionize human thought emerged. Stoicism was born in 300 BC in Athens under the teachings of Zeno of Citium. His philosophical school was named Stoa Poikile, which means painted porch, where Zeno used to teach. But what is Stoicism really? Essentially, it's a philosophy that teaches us to accept life as it is, recognizing that some things are beyond our control, but emphasizing that we can always control how we react to them. If we travel from Athens to Rome, we encounter emblematic figures of Stoicism who took its teachings to another level. First, we have Seneca, an advisor to Emperor Nero. Through his letters and essays, Seneca offers profound insights into human nature, emphasizing the importance of living in harmony with nature and accepting both adversities and joys with equanimity. Then there's Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of history's most influential thinkers. In his personal diary titled Meditations, he reflects on his most intimate thoughts about life, death, and living virtuously without being overcome by external circumstances. And we can't forget Epictetus, a former slave who became a renowned Stoic teacher. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." These philosophers, with their lives and teachings, show us that regardless of our circumstances, we always have the power to choose how to face life. This mindset helps us view rejection not as a threat, but as an opportunity. Before delving into how Stoicism helps us confront rejection, it's essential to understand that this philosophy isn't a set of rigid rules, but rather a way of life, a guide to living with purpose, meaning, and resilience. The Stoic perception of rejection. Every time we experience rejection, it's not the act itself that hurts us, but how we interpret it. This is a fundamental premise in Stoicism. If we could view a scene from above, as if we were spectators in a play, we would simply see one person saying no to another. But in the mind of the rejected, that no transforms into a whirlwind of thoughts and emotions. Am I not good enough? What did I do wrong? Why don't they want me? Epictetus, with his penetrating wisdom, told us, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." From this perspective, rejection, like any other external event, is essentially neutral. It has no intrinsic positive or negative value. It's simply a fact, a response. The pain or joy we feel is the product of our interpretation. Consider a famous quote by Marcus Aurelius: "If you are distressed by anything external, it's not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment about it. and it's in your power to wipe out that judgment at any moment. What if, instead of seeing rejection as a verdict on our worth, we viewed it as a mere response, a different perspective, or even an opportunity for self-learning and growth? Seneca, in his letters, presents a revolutionary idea. The obstacle is the way. The adversities are the test of strong souls. If we adopt this perspective, rejection doesn't become a barrier but a challenge, an invitation to question our own judgments, strengthen our resilience, and find a deeper purpose in our lives. There's no doubt that changing our perception of rejection is a challenge, but with the tools that Stoicism provides, we can transform this experience into a source of strength and wisdom. In the next chapter, we will discover exactly how to achieve this. So you've encountered rejection, the same rejection that propelled the success of Thomas Edison and J.K. Rowling. An obstacle, a wall, a denial stands before you. The challenge of rejection looms large. But have you ever considered that behind that wall, there might be treasure waiting to be discovered? A world of possibilities, learnings, and strengths. The Stoics have a peculiar way of looking at the world. Where many see calamities, they see training. Where most get discouraged, Stoics grow stronger. It's this perception that allows them to face any adversity with equanimity and courage, and yes, that includes the dreaded rejection. Think about the act of lifting weights. What are you really doing? You're subjecting your body to resistance, to an obstacle. But with each lift, your muscles break down and then regenerate, becoming stronger. Rejection, seen through this lens, becomes that resistance that, if faced properly, can strengthen our character and resilience. If you still have doubts, consider the lives of great historical figures who faced rejection in ways most of us couldn't imagine. Take, for example, Thomas Edison, the inventor of the phonograph and the electric light bulb. It's said he failed over 1,000 times before creating a working light bulb. Each time he faced failure, rejection of his ideas and prototypes, he didn't give up. Instead, he saw it as an opportunity to learn and improve. Edison himself said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Another inspiring story is that of J.K. Rowling, the author of the globally famous Harry Potter series. After facing multiple rejections from publishers who didn't see potential in her manuscript, she finally found one that did. But what if Rowling had let those rejections define her worth as a writer? Both stories show how rejection, far from being an end, can be the beginning of something extraordinary. Rejection can be the catalyst that propels us towards success, as long as we know how to approach it. This is where Stoic wisdom shines brightest. Instead of avoiding rejection, it invites us to face it, challenge it, and engage in a dialogue with it. Because in that dialogue, we find the keys to unravel its lessons and grow as individuals. So the next time you find yourself facing a no, think of Edison, think of Rowling, think of all those who saw in that no a not yet, or a find another way. Rejection is not the end, it's the beginning of a new adventure. Are you ready to embark on it? How to handle rejection, Stoic tools for everyday life. What would you do if you had a tool that allowed you to face any challenge with serenity? If you could look adversity in the eye and say, "I'm listening." Welcome to the Stoic Toolkit for handling rejection. First, let's explore the dichotomy of control. This concept, proposed by the Stoic philosopher Epictetus, invites us to divide the world into two categories: what is within our control and what is not. Now think about rejection. Can you control how someone feels or thinks about you? The answer is no. But can you control how you react to that rejection? Absolutely. This distinction frees us from the burden of trying to manipulate the external world and empowers us to work on our internal world, on our response when we face a no. Instead of asking why we were rejected, we should ask what we can learn from it. Now let's take it a step further. Stoics practice something called indifference. No, it's not ignoring your emotions or pretending they don't exist. It's about not being carried away by them. Imagine your emotions are like the wind. They can blow strongly, but you, like a sturdy tree, remain steadfast, letting the wind pass through your leaves without uprooting you. Temporary emotions like pain or frustration in the face of rejection are that wind. Acknowledge their presence, but don't let them knock you down. After any experience of rejection, it's essential to perform self-analysis, not to blame yourself or find faults, but to understand and learn. Question your emotions and responses. Why did you feel what you felt? Is there an underlying belief influencing your reaction? By doing this, you're opening a conversation with your inner self, finding areas for growth and adjusting your perspective. Finally, let's talk about practical exercises. I propose 2 challenges you can start implementing today. The Stoic Journal. Challenge: every night spend 5 minutes reflecting on your day. Was there any rejection or challenge? How did you react? What did you learn? This daily practice will help you become an observer of your emotions and behaviors, giving you clarity and self-awareness. The Rejection Confrontation. Challenge: over the next week, face something you fear. It could be something small, like asking for a discount in a store, or something more significant. The goal is not to get a yes, but to confront the fear of rejection and learn from the experience. In conclusion, rejection is just one of life's many facets. We can't avoid it, but we can choose how to face it. With Stoic tools in your toolkit, rejection can change from a terrifying monster into a kind teacher, always ready to teach and guide you toward a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Now, imagine how empowering it can be to face any challenge, from the subtlest rejection to the most significant obstacles. Armed with Stoic wisdom, we are prepared not only to survive, but to thrive. Benefits of rejection from a Stoic mindset. Sometimes the universe has mysterious ways of teaching us. Rejection, despite being perceived as a cold and desolate shadow, can actually be one of our greatest allies. Allow me to show you how. When we are rejected, our character is tested. Much like metal is forged with fire and hammered to gain strength. Similarly, our character is reinforced when we face rejection and choose to learn from it instead of crumbling. Here lies the first benefit, the strengthening of our resilience and character. Imagine becoming a person who grows stronger, wiser, and better prepared for future challenges with every no received. It's like turning every obstacle into a stepping stone to a superior version of yourself. But what if that rejection were actually a sign telling you that there might be another, better path aligned with your purpose and goals? Here we come to the second benefit. Rejection gives us the opportunity to reevaluate and adjust our paths. Instead of seeing it as a closed door, we could view it as a signpost saying, "Not here, but something better awaits you." Perhaps that job you didn't get will lead you to discover a passion you didn't know existed. Maybe that no in a relationship will guide you toward a deeper and more meaningful connection with someone else, or even more importantly, with yourself. Speaking of deep connections, we come to the third benefit, the fostering of self-awareness and self-improvement. When facing rejection, we are forced to look in the mirror, to question our beliefs, actions, and desires. It's a call to introspection. Why did that comment hurt so much? What part of me feels insecure? What values are genuinely important to me? Through these questions, we not only discover who we truly are, but also how we can grow and develop. In this journey through Stoic wisdom, we've discovered that rejection is not a monster, but rather a teacher, a guide, an ally. Like any good teacher, it's not here to punish you, but to show you the way to a more fulfilling, meaningful, and connected life. Now armed with this new perspective, I invite you, dear listener, to look at rejection with fresh eyes. Consider that experience not as a punishment, but as a disguised blessing, a gift that, if accepted with wisdom and courage, can take you to unsuspected corners of self-discovery and growth. Conclusion: embracing a Stoic view of life's challenges. We've sailed through the waters of Stoicism, discovering how this ancient philosophy can illuminate our path today. We've understood that, beyond the momentary pain it may bring, rejection is a silent teacher that invites us to grow, strengthen our character, and reevaluate our life's roots. Rejection, seen through the Stoic lens, is not a sentence but an opportunity. I invite you, dear listener, that the next time you face rejection, look at it with a new perspective. Consider that experience not as a punishment, but as a disguised blessing, a gift that, if accepted with wisdom and courage, can lead you to uncharted territories of self-discovery and growth. And as you continue on your personal journey, I encourage you to keep exploring and adopting Stoic principles in your daily life, because at the end of the day, every challenge, every no, every obstacle can be the fuel you need to ignite the flame of your evolution and self-transcendence. So, with an open heart and mind, Face each day as a new opportunity, a new chapter where you can be the author of your own story, guided by the timeless wisdom of the Stoics. If you've made it this far first, allow me to deeply thank you for your time and attention to this video. Before you go, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Here are 2 more videos that might interest you. Take care and see you soon.